This video is made for adult collectors because the air conditioning just kicked in and is very loud next to me, so apologies if you can hear it. This and Thrilling 30 Metroplex are the two Titans I really want, and now I can finally tick one of those off my figure bucket list. Absolute massive thanks to Paragon Refugee on Twitter for this, by the way. What a legend. So this dude was a fan vote character, beating out, I believe, Omega and Scorponok to be the Titan that followed Fort Max. Getting two Titans in essentially the same subline of a toy line trilogy doesn't happen too often until the advent of Generation Select's Titans. So with this dude being the latter of the two, he ended up hitting discount stores, probably either due to people just already having bought Fort Max and not wanting to spend more on another Titan, or because Toys R Us was on the verge of closure and was selling a year's worth of stock to discount retailers to try and recoup. So glad the Gen Selects ones aren't full force releases. It means they won't do hugely popular characters in there and people can skip it and they don't feel bad missing out. Trypticon here never hit discount like that because, well, guess who's still open? Stop charging me $55 for a Voyager, bro. I just want my Wheeljack. Why can't you be like everyone else and charge $8 less, Toys R Us? Anyways, this thing is glorious. Disclaimer though, it has the toy hacks applied, so the colors are going to look a little bit better than the stock ones. I adore all the greebles on this dude. One thing Titans are known for is their intricate detailing all throughout their surfaces. There are loads of wires, pipes, tracks, and circle things that you never get bored looking at. And the colors. The stock colors look great with the custom green, the purple, the mix of dark and light gray, and the clear orange and clear green. I really like the clear orange. And the way the stickers continue it down the legs make it look like he's got lava flowing down his legs, that's kind of cool. He's just so imposing looking, especially standing there in front of other figures. Like most Titans look that way, but this just kind of is a bit extra. Well, it's pretty much just a Mechagodzilla ripoff once it's all said and done. Like, it's just Robot Godzilla. But that by no means is a bad thing. I love it. And as a massive Godzilla fan, I dig the look. It's a giant lizard robot. Really makes me want that NECA 24-inch one. I always held out hope that we'd get a Beast Wars version of this and they'd give, like, the spots and the horn, but they probably still have the mold given they're remaking Fort Max, though due to a manufacturing complication, he's delayed. He does some cool things, like eat Titan Masters. That's so unnecessary, but I love it. Fill his belly. Fill his belly! Topspin, Bludgeon, Sentinel, Repugnus, 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 Grotesque, to Inferno, Chrome Dome, Brainstorm, Nitro Zeus, Fangry, Sky Shadow, Necron, Cerebros, Repugnus, 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 and then he can vomit them up out of his gut. He also has a spring release cannon on the top of his head by putting a Titan Master up there, but the plate it connects to is a button, so you don't even need a Titan Master. You can just press it with your thumb, but closing that is so satisfying. He isn't as tall as other Titans, and that's because this dude has the same parts / material count as Fort Max. Warden and team at the time, I believe, wanted to show corporate how they could make this dude using the same amount of parts as Fort Max, thus not wanting to make him more expensive. But what he lacks in height, he makes up for in bulk. Bro is big. My allergies are so bad today, Jesus. Being a pre-Legacy Titan, he comes with a buddy, Full Tilt. Full Tilt plugs into his chest and just sits there, and this being a first batch Trypticon, the chest doesn't like to stay in place because of the weight. Future batches did fix this issue. He is a nice little deluxe car. I like this. He rolls well, he's got a gun on top, he's just nice, and the toy hacks just elevated even more. The Trypticon, though, did release with one catastrophically major issue: the hips. The springs were so strong or something that they would explode the plastic portion of the ratchets in the hips if used slightly incorrectly. Future batches did fix this issue, but there is an easy fix out there for the hips by like shortening the spring. So it's not all doom and gloom, but that is a massive issue. Oh boy, filming Titan Articulation's fun. Just a disclaimer as per usual, if you hear audio on this side or audio on this side, it's because I'm moving. I'll try my best to fix it. This thing is posable. Posable. The head is strange. So he can look up that far. On a very squeaky ratchet, he can look down that far. You have an opening mouth. that can open that far and close that far. It can't close all the way though. I kind of wish it could, but then again, there's all this like extra stuff in here, so like I get it. Bloop. But to turn the head, these have to be rotated up. And now the head rotates. So you can do a full 360 because of transformation. You know what? I'm just gonna take this off. You can take the whole assembly off. I'm gonna do that. That way the chest doesn't open. Now, oops, there's a universal joint up here so we can go forward and back, in and out. They've even sculpted the inner armpit, which is nice. No bicep rotation. I kind of wish there was one because there's like a spot for a cut. Could go right there, but they didn't do it. The elbows bend 90 degrees. So you have that. The wrists can do this, so he can slay if he wants to. And then you have the thumb and the 2 fingers can like chomp. You have a joint here, and a joint here, but there's also extra hip joints in here too. So the hips can do this. They can do this. They can go out. And then they can rotate forward and back. They can go all the way, but I'm not going to bother doing that. The knees, they can extend forward. And they can go all the way that way. And then you have a toe joint that goes down and 2 clicks of ankle tilts. Now, he's meant to stand upright, like you can make him stand upright, and when you do that, the tail here does move. Oh, albeit very, very loud. It can do that. They've sculpted this whole thing, which I really do appreciate that. And then this tip part you can untab and move, which is what I do. Because I stand him in the more sort of traditional Godzilla stance. So he's a very noisy toy. So that's Mechagodzilla. Big, bold, brash, and a chore to handle. But what Titan isn't? And that's not chore in a bad way. Speaking of chores though, let's transform this. So Buddy's transformation is pretty much identical to the original one, barring some extra little engineering changes. So if you've transformed the original toy, you pretty much know what you're gonna do. So to start with, we're going to put the camera up, fold that down, close this up, and then we're going to take the cannons, bring them out, rotate the head 180 degrees, fold this all the way up. That sort of locks this rotator in place so it doesn't move anymore. And then I'm just gonna get these out of the way for now. Actually, no, this way. There we go. Now, the arms. They have little tabs right here that'll peg in right there. So you just close up the hands, bring the arms up, peg them in. And once you do that, you take this entire assembly and flip it up. Now we gotta lie him down. So I'm going to close up the tail, take the whole guy, and put him like this. There. Now I need to readjust everything. So let's do feet. So you gotta fold these up, fold the toes down, and then there are these green buttons right here. You wanna press those, and then pull the leg out, and go around, and shove it into place. Now once you've done that, you have the legs in the proper position. You want to use these buttons again, push them, and then bring these down. If you don't push them, there's these little purple bits right here, right there, that retract. You might break them, so please be careful. Don't break them. Fold them down like that. I'm going to need to make more room on the desk because all this is here and that's not going to fit. But fold this section out. Like, actually, no, before we do that, we're going to have to do the ramps first, but we need to do the legs. So you want to open this entire assembly up. Like that. Fold it out. Move everything on the desk over so that you can bring this over here. Hold this up. Bring this out. And then open that up. Oh, he's taking up so much space. Then we're going to fold up the towers, bring these down, bring this out, fold those out, like so, and then we're going to take this full tilt section, put it back on. Come on. Come on. Come on. We're crying out loud. There we go. And then fold that up. Then this front ramp will flip down. And that's the thing. We did it. Oh, so hot in here. City mode. This has to be the best city/base mode of any Titan other than, say, Omega. There's so much play space on here, it's insane. And it doesn't look like a robot lying down either. It looks complete. It can connect to leaders and other Titan class dudes to form like these giant city-based things to make it look even larger. And there's so much more detail exposed in this. The new ramps, the helipads, the giant circle things that look like observation domes to me. I dig all the flat space adorned throughout the surface of this figure. The amount of like places to put toys is nuts. And the stickers make it look even better. My little cousin comes over from the US every year at Christmas time, and every year I buy him a Transformer or two, and then put him with a Titan, and he loves using them as giant cities when he plays with his toys. It's great. And I feel he's gonna adore this one because of how much space there is. He loves G1 Fort Max, that's one of his favorites, so like, this is gonna be another one, I think. It really succeeds at being a giant playset for your toys, but from a collector standpoint, it makes for an epic display platform for your smaller scale figures. Legend-sized dudes work so well here. Mega Constructs dudes, like, it's great. And full tilt. Well, he could do some things too, like drive down the ramp and combine with the tower and stuff, but he also does have a robot mode. Oh, finally a regular figure. Look at this, I can sit here, it's smaller than my hands, I love this. Okay, so full tilt's transformation. I'm gonna do his transformation and articulation in one big swoop because he's a deluxe. So you take his gun, you take it off, and then you open this up and you remove his headmaster, which is in a nice little purple cockpit there, but you take Necron, I think it is, or whatever, fold him up. Again, this is covered in toy hacks. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is undo these sections here, bring this out, unfold the legs around, and then close all this up, and then fold up the peepee, and that's his legs. Now his arms, they sort of just shift down. You bring this down to the back, you fold out the fists, and then take his head, plug it in, he can hold his gun, and that's full tilt. He has no feet. That's very annoying. Now his articulation, the head is a headmaster, so it's on a ball joint and it can rotate and do all sorts of things. Shoulders are on ball joints, they can go out that far, they can do 360s. You have bicep rotation and elbow bend, though his elbows are really, really small, like his forearms are really small that it looks a bit like doofy to me at certain angles. Nothing at the waist, hips can go forward, they can go back, they can go in and out. You have thigh rotation. You have a 90-degree bend at the knee, but if you open up this transformation hinge, you can get the full tilt. Get it? And then no feet. No feet. That's fun. But you can still get him into some pretty decent poses, I think, anyways. So let's just get him in one here real quick. Stay. Come on. There we go. Full tilt in a pose. That's not bad. Now, Trypticon has one more thing he can do, kinda. Takara Legends introduces a fourth mode, and it's just this. It kind of looks like one of those made-up dinosaurs from the movie 65. I don't want to risk the hips, so I'm not going to bother getting it into this mode, but here's a photo. Okay, Battle Station mode, or at least Battle Station mode in my favorite configuration, which is fold these up, fold up the ramps. You can't really see this that well, but fold up the front ramp. Oh, I forgot to show off the garage. Hang on. I forgot to show off my favorite feature about this figure. He has a garage for small deluxes, or, you know, figures like this, or like this, or like this. So you take this front section here, and you try with all of your might to get it open, because it takes forever to get it open. And you lift this whole section up, and you can take deluxes and park them in the garage. Like they're in there. He's in there. And you can fit, like, oh, come on. This is the part I don't like about the garage, is getting it open. Ah! Oh my lord. Come on. There we go. You can open this up. I can stick Bumblebee in there. I'm gonna take robot mode, Beachcomber, shove him in there. Like, you can put a whole bunch of stuff. We're gonna take Needle Nose, one of his Target Masters, you shove it in there. So, like, that's cool. Anyways, we're going to leave that down now. We are going to, what are we gonna do next? I'm gonna take these cannons at the back here, flip them down, and I'm gonna take this section, flip it down as well. And then we're going to fold up the legs. So, fold them up. and peg them together, making all of the noise in the world, and then bringing them in, and they will peg in to the side like that. So, make all of the noise in the world, get it all squished, and then peg that in like so. And that's pretty much the configuration I like it in. That's how I like it. But there's like, you can open these up still if you want, fold them all the way around if that's to your taste. You can bring these out and leave these straight if you want like giant runway things. Like you can do all sorts of stuff with it, but this is the configuration I prefer it in. It's not the biggest transformation, but the silhouette changes quite a bit to make this little battle station. Shove full tilt in there and now he's driving a massive spaceship. As like non-city alt modes for Titans go, this isn't the worst, but there are better ones out there. It doesn't change too much for me personally to display it in this mode, but it changes enough for me to be happy with it. But should you get one of these Trypticons, don't pay more than modern Titan retail for it used. That's like what I would say. I'd say get one because he's very cool, but yeah, the aftermarket prices are insane. Don't pay those. I've seen a lot on Bai for really cheap, but like that's if you want to pay Japanese shipping, then that's the caveat there. But he is solid, fun, full of stuff to do, and poses pretty damn well for being a giant, heavy dinosaur. Just be careful with those hips. Again, huge thank you to Paragon Refugee on Twitter for giving me a killer deal on this and just being a wicked dude and giving me all this amazingly cool stuff. But that's my look at Titans Return Trypticon. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.